Welcome back once again to Flint Hills Briar. I am Gareth. Just about 1 week left now, a little less than a week, I guess. The Great Codger Challenge. Still at it. Smoking my Shelby foot mixture and my Canadian briar. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of craving a change. Last number of days I've started kind of almost craving enjoying a cigar, and I haven't had a cigar since I got back into smoking a pipe here back in September. I have a good number of them down in 2 Tupperwares downstairs with my pipe tobaccos, but I just haven't really felt inclined to smoke any of them here for a good number of months. I even have a couple that I got from the Country Squire that I haven't tried. Some Maduros or something. I think the reason I'm kind of craving a cigar is because I think part of me is kind of wanting something a little bit different. And I don't know, that might be within the rules, but at the same time, I kind of feel like doing that's cheating. At least for me personally, because I know why I want the cigar. I'm still chugging along towards the end of the challenge. Got some good rain last night. The birds are out singing. Took the day off to do some stuff, had an appointment, so I just took the day off because might as well. Just gonna sit back and do some reading. I really should probably work on some video editing. I don't know if that'll happen or not. I want to finish watching Moby Dick, the I guess 1998 one with Patrick Stewart in it. I didn't realize it was that old. I've been listening to Moby Dick on Audible, and it's something for whatever reason, I know I guess because it's considered such a great work of American literature, I've wanted to read the book for years. I haven't started reading it on my phone over 10 years ago, but I didn't get very far. So I've been listening to it on Audible, which I find it's usually the best way for me to try to get through books, just because I can listen to it while I can wash dishes or floss my teeth, any number of things. And I've been really surprised at, I don't know what I was expecting, but I've really found Moby Dick to be really quite entertaining at times. Some of those older, works of literature that are considered great classics, sometimes they don't really have those humorous bits or more lighthearted bits to them, and that's, it's fine. Everything's different. I mean, something comes to mind like Les Miserables, which I've read, I don't know how far I got in that. I don't even know if I quite read half of that. I started reading that like over 20 years ago. It's a great book, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't have, I mean, if you're looking for something with a little lighthearted bits and pieces, I'm not saying there maybe aren't any, but it's not like that. And one thing I've noticed is a lot of a lot of older works of literature, like from the 1800s, for instance, oftentimes, and these are ones where the book's pretty thick. A lot of times, and Les Miserables is a prime example of this, in my opinion. The author will spend an entire chapter, a long chapter, going into something that I guess kind of sets the setting for the plot of the book, but at the same time has almost nothing to do with it whatsoever. Like in Les Miserables, there's a whole chapter or more that delves into great detail about the Battle of Waterloo and where Napoleon was defeated, and it doesn't really, I think the only reason why it has any real connection with the story is one of the characters in the story was like taking stuff off the dead soldiers' bodies, like taking their watches and stuff like that. Well, there's another part in Les Miserables where he spends like a whole chapter describing the life in this convent and convent school, and it really is a quite beautiful chapter, and it does relate to the story because one of the characters goes to that convent school, and Jean Valjean, Cosette goes to the school, and Jean Valjean is like the gardener there. But it spends a lot of time setting this setting, I guess, and talking about the background. And that's wonderful and all, but maybe readers back then were used to that sort of thing. But I'm just not sure that in today's day and age it works so well. And I'm not complaining about it. I want to be, I wish I was the type of reader that would really love those deep dives and all this stuff, but whether I want it to or not, modern life has obviously rubbed off on me. And sometimes I find that, like, especially those sorts of chapters, kind of challenging to get through. But Moby Dick has really surprised me. It's quite, it's a good book. I mean, I'm not too far into it, but I've been really pleasantly surprised. There's some quote in Moby Dick, which I haven't got to yet, but I've run across the quote somewhere else, where it says something like there like a time may come where like the last whale, like the last man, will smoke his last pipe and then just evaporate in vapor or something like that. It seemed like, I mean, it's a sad, were that to come about, that would be sad. But it's a very interesting and beautiful quote, especially to a pipe smoker. It seems like there was something else I was going to say that I seem to be forgetting. Oh yeah, I remember. I was really shocked that Herman Melville, who wrote Moby Dick, he had written some books before Moby Dick, after he had spent time on whaling ships. And when he wrote Moby Dick, he really expected it to be like his magnum opus, I guess, his great book. And when it was published, it pretty well, I guess, fell flat. It was not a success initially, and I don't know if he basically stopped writing at that point or not. I know there's the two things that people, at least I knew, Herman Melville for is the book Moby Dick, and there's a short story called Bartleby the Scrivener, which I read in a college literature class. And something makes me suspect, because Herman Melville went on to like work some sort of like a office sort of job in like Manhattan, I believe, New York, not Manhattan, Kansas, where I'm from, in the Flint Hills. But something makes me suspect that it was his time working that job was where he got the idea to write Bartleby the Scrivener. But anyway, I was just surprised that Moby Dick was something that only kind of was discovered as being a great work, like maybe about when he died. And something some people may know this and some people may not, but Moby, the guy who makes music, electronic music, kind of DJ sort of stuff, whatever you quite call it. He's also into being a big-time vegan and some nonsense, I would say, but he is actually like Herman Melville's like great something great nephew or something like that. So he's related to him. I believe his last, Moby, the musician guy, I think his last name is Melville. I'm not sure what his first name is. And I'm assuming because of the connection, that's why he goes by Moby as a musician. But anyway, I should probably draw this one to a close. I guess I'll just have to be on the lookout for the white whales that may be out there. And I'm Gareth with Flint Hills Briar. I'll talk to you next time.